Harold Don Shaw, age 79, passed away yesterday morning at his house in Coleman. Holly Pond Funeral Home is handling the arrangements. Visitation will be 6 to 8 p.m. tonight at Holly Pond Funeral Home. Funeral services will be at 11 a.m. tomorrow at the funeral home. The Reverend Sam Hollis officiating. Burial in Holly Pond Cemetery. Funeral services for Samantha C. Pope, age 47, were at 1 p.m. yesterday at Hebron Missionary Baptist Church. Burial was in Holly Pond. Moss service directed. Ms. Pope passed away Friday at UAB Medical Center in Birmingham. And those are our obituaries for today, brought to you by Moss Service and Hansville Funeral Home.
I will rebuild the relationships with local city, county, and governmental agencies in which we all have the same mindset that we are working together for the betterment of our community in that one single direction for every citizen of Coleman County. My office will be held accountable from the top down. I will be held accountable first. And as your sheriff, I will lead the sheriff's office with conviction, pledging to return the office of sheriff back to the people.
At Premier Bank, we are very proud of the long-lasting relationships we have with our customers. We'll go almost anywhere to meet your banking needs.
Overwhelmed by home refinancing offers from telephone solicitors and direct mail advertising, and then find you're not qualified for a specific plan? The Mortgage Center, a hometown lender, compares the rates from all home loan lenders and the qualifications of the various government programs to find a plan best suited to you. The Mortgage Center helps Coleman County people purchase and refinance their homes.
This is Pat Newton. Call us today and let us tailor a loan program to your specific needs and requirements.
While Washington liberals like Obama and Pelosi continue to attack Alabama families and values, conservative leaders like Ed Henry are fighting back, championing pro-life legislation, standing strong against Obamacare, and keeping taxes low so we can create good jobs. Ed Henry, the conservative champion we need in Montgomery.
Meet the KitchenAid 36-inch induction cooktop. It might just change the way you cook. Induction technology heats the pan and not the cooking surface to offer you a new level of precision, speed, and energy efficiency. 9 settings give you different levels of heat to achieve precise temperatures and amazing responsiveness. Water boils in just seconds, making this the fastest to boil induction cooktop available. The KitchenAid 36-inch induction cooktop.
Four years ago, I stood here and told you about our struggling economy, job market, and education system. We needed a change. Today I have good news. The economy is coming back, the job market is getting stronger by the day, and we're taking steps to ensure our education system is strong and secure for the future. Now it's time to build on those successes. I'm asking you to join me in continuing to move our communities forward. I'm Mac Buttrell, and I'm asking for your vote.
Premier Premier Bank presents Today on 2. We are broadcasting, as always, live on Charter Cable, Channel 2. We are on the internet, channel2coleman.com. And, of course, the same website. We archive the programs courtesy of YouTube, so you can watch the program anytime you want to. You can follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Are we anywhere else? Smoke signals?
Yeah.
Somewhere? Something?
Yeah, probably.
Try to get the word out as best we can.
That's right.
Hey, a beautiful day today.
Gorgeous day.
I think the weather has settled down, and we have a good forecast to talk about.
So excited, yeah.
All right. Our weather is brought to you by Mitch Smith Chevrolet, located on Cherokee Avenue. The almanac for the 20th of May in Cullman. The average high is 83, the average low is 63, the record high 96 in 1960, the record low 43 in 2002. Sunset will be at 7:46, sunrise tomorrow at 5:42. There's the satellite picture. Oh, it doesn't look like a nice day in Michigan, does it? Well, I never wanted to go to Michigan anyway. Northern Wisconsin, our part of the country looks pretty good. Here's our forecast for today. It'll be sunny today, a little bit of a breeze, high of 82. Clear tonight, low around 63. More of the same tomorrow, warming up to 85. Thursday, 88. That looks like the high for the next several days. Friday, 85. Saturday, 86. Sunday and Monday, holiday, 85 degrees. Should be beautiful weather for the Memorial Day weekend coming up.
Isn't that awesome? I'm so excited. It's exciting that we have a good, nice, long weekend, and it's pretty weather. We can get out there and do some outdoor activities. Won't that be great?
That's kind of the official start of summer, isn't it?
It
Memorial
is.
Day weekend.
It
A lot of the
is.
swimming pools open.
Yes, and you can officially wear white then. White shoes, white pants. I think that's kind of passé. Nobody goes by that anymore, but still.
One of my favorite preachers will be back in style.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Okay, well, let's see. We have a political forum again today.
Yes, we do.
And we have the candidates for State Representative District 9, and they are Melvin Hastings and Ed Henry. So we'll be turning things over to Philip Hicks and doing that forum here in just a few more minutes. In the meantime, how about a Facebook friend of the day? Here's somebody we know, I think.
Yes, Jacob Ledbetter. Jacob is such a nice young man. He likes economics and Buena Vista of Cullman, and we've had him on the show before, and he's well-traveled, and he's just a very intelligent, very aspiring young man. I'm just real impressed with Jacob. He's a pianist as well, and he's just very accomplished for his age. He's very accomplished. So we are going to give him, guess what? A big old large fat barbecue sandwich from Mad Dog Mike's Famous Barbecue. Just come by here and pick up that certificate.
Okay, we'll be back and look at our merchant ads and do some other things before we have the forum, so stay tuned. More coming up.
There's stuff around your house, but we don't make stuff. We make ovens. Dual fuel, double ovens. And they bake so evenly that now delicious is something you can depend on. We only make things for one room. The best room. Your kitchen. We're devoted to it. And you can feel it in everything we make. Nobody knows the kitchen like KitchenAid.
Overwhelmed by home refinancing offers from telephone solicitors and direct mail advertising, and then find you're not qualified for a specific plan? The Mortgage Center, a hometown lender, compares the rates from all home loan lenders and the qualifications of the various government programs to find a plan best suited to you. The Mortgage Center helps Cullman County people purchase and refinance their homes.
This is Pat Newton. Call us today and let us tailor a loan program to your specific needs and requirements.
We have to be more responsive to the needs of victims within our community. And we will do this by establishing a victim service unit within the Sheriff's Office. Utilizing the personnel there, this unit will also assist the victims of assault, domestic violence cases, to the needed people that they can speak to that will help them not only get self-help, but through the prosecution of their case. And I would like to ask for your vote on June 3rd in the 2014 Republican primary election.
At Premier Bank, we take pride in serving our community. We respect our customers. and we've won awards for our ethical conduct. We're motivated to do all we can for you, and we're interested in your banking needs. We're efficient, safe, and sound, and our relationships with our customers are second to none.
At Premier Bank, we put the customer first.
While Washington liberals like Obama and Pelosi continue to attack Alabama families and values, conservative leaders like Ed Henry are fighting back, championing pro-life legislation, standing strong against Obamacare, and keeping taxes low so we can create good jobs. Ed Henry, the conservative champion we need in Montgomery.
Four years ago, I stood here and told you about our struggling economy, job market, and education system. We needed a change. Today I have good news. The economy is coming back, the job market is getting stronger by the day, and we're taking steps to ensure our education system is strong and secure for the future. Now it's time to build on those successes. I'm asking you to join me in continuing to move our communities forward. I'm Max Buttrell, and I'm asking for your vote.
Okay, we continue with more of our program, our Know Your Merchant ads. We don't have a quiz today, but I tell you what, tomorrow we're going to get back, we're going to have our quiz, and we're going to have all the prizes.
Oh.
Like 4 or 5, we've got some new ones.
Wow.
So, yeah,
tomorrow
really
and
Thursday, we're going to catch up.
Yes, all right.
Okay, let's look at our ads so you're ready to go tomorrow. Starting with Hansville Drug Store, opened in 1925, they still have ice cream treats from the original soda fountain. Hansville Drug Store.
And the blizzard of the month at Dairy Queen is the strawberry shortcake. Oh, that looks so delicious, and strawberries are in season right now. What a great combination. Go by Dairy Queen today and pick up your blizzard of the month.
Be Fit, the fitness facility right downtown next to Renard's Gallery on 1st Avenue Southeast. You have a month-to-month membership, no long-term contract, and that includes a personal trainer.
Mr. Hicks Menswear, formal wear available for all occasions. Located right there at 217 Compass Way Southwest. Mr. Hicks Menswear also fits those big and tall guys.
Mad Dog Mike's Famous Barbecue in the Berlin Quick Stop. You get a full pound of barbecue, 2 sides and 4 buns, priced at just $13.99. Mad Dog Mike's Famous Barbecue.
And Earl's Body Shop celebrating 50 years in business. Wow, what an accomplishment. Large and small towing available and local or long distance. And of course, it's a great body shop, Earl's Body Shop.
Hair by Loretta. Highlights, haircuts, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. New customers get a $5 discount. Located in the Kalos Salon on 1st Avenue Southwest in Coleman.
Yates Chance Christian Bookstore is engraving, new little thing that they're doing for wood and metal products, personalized wedding, anniversaries, gifts for deacons and pastors, all occasions, even for graduation gifts. What a great idea.
Pizza Hut. Today is Tuesday. This is the $10 family size pasta special. That's at Pizza Hut on 2nd Avenue North.
And Tires for Less is more than just tires. Go see Greg and the guys if you need some oil changes done, minor engine repairs, have those shocks and brakes checked and replaced. All this at Tires for Less.
There we go with some of our merchant ads. And right now we want to watch Money Matters, brought to you by Premier Bank.
This is Allison from Premier Bank. I want to talk to you today about the importance of dealing with a local bank. With a local bank, you will always be dealing with local people and neighbors. A community bank will have offices in your area, and loan decisions will be made locally. Come by and see us today.
And we have a few more merchant ads to show you. Once again, we're going to have a lot of prizes to give away tomorrow on the show. So let's look at the rest of our merchant ads right now. Starting with Auto Tech, where they do major engine repair, transmission, and brake repair on all vehicles, foreign and domestic. County Road 1354 in Vinemont, just past the Super Saver.
And Jolly Time Rentals. You can call Holly Mullins at 256-620-JOLLY if you want to rent some licensed inflatable slides, water slides, obstacle courses, toddler interactive activities, all kinds of great things there.
Grand Point Pharmacy, open at 7:30 every day, Monday through Saturday, and they have all of your allergy products available. Grand Point Pharmacy on Highway 31 North.
And Deb's Bookstore. I think Deb's going to be on the show tomorrow. Your hometown bookstore just down the road where browsers are always welcome. Used books are always half price off every day, and new books are 20% off every day at Deb's Bookstore.
And the Candle Garden, where they have the hand-poured candles and, over 4 dozen fragrances, many gift items available, located right downtown by Moe's Barbecue.
And Mullins Body Shop. You've counted on them for over 50 years for auto body repair and towing, and you can continue to count on them today. Call Sunny, Stacy, Beth, or Jim at Mullins Body Shop.
Pickin' Under the Pavilion, live entertainment at the Donald E. Green Senior Center. This will be every Tuesday night in the month of June. June 3, 10, 17, and the 2nd? Maybe 22nd, huh?
Maybe so.
Something like that.
Brown & Company Beverages, where good taste begins. It's right next to the Ford dealership on Highway 157. They have a huge variety of domestic imports, meads, mixes, gourmet sodas.
Alabama Sunrooms and Awnings, sunrooms and screen rooms. If we do it, it's built right. Check their website, builtrightawnings.com.
And Cotton State Barns of Coleman. Buy or rent to own. Carports, play sets, utility trailers, storage buildings, no credit check, you're approved. Located right there on Highway 278, just past I-65. Cotton State Barns of Coleman.
It's My Party, where they have balloons. They have Lulu the Gorilla with singing telegrams. Located on 2nd Avenue Southeast, across the street from Sacred Heart Church. There we go with our merchant ads for today, and coming up next after commercial break, we'll have our community billboards and our birthdays and the weather.
At Premier Bank, we're a bit old-fashioned. We actually answer the telephone when you call. However, old-fashioned doesn't mean we aren't up to date. With the latest technology, Premier Bank meets the various needs of our customers. Mobile smartphone banking, internet banking, ATMs, convenient offices. At Premier Bank, we have the right products right now with good old-fashioned customer service. At Premier Bank, we put the customer first.
Life lived in black and white is not a life lived. Today, I choose color. To see it. To feel it. To be in it. To be upon it. And to live a life surrounded by it. Today, I put on a fresh coat.
I believe it is an honor and a privilege to be the Sheriff of Coleman County, not a right. And as that honor and privilege, I believe it is the job of the Sheriff to serve the needs of the people. It is not the people's job to serve the needs of the Sheriff. I can make you this promise: I will lead the Sheriff's Office with honor, commitment, and integrity to every citizen of Coleman County. I would like to ask for each one of you your support and your vote on June 3rd in the 2014 primary election.
Four years ago, I stood here and told you about our struggling economy, job market, and education system. We needed a change. Today I have good news. The economy is coming back, the job market is getting stronger by the day, and we're taking steps to ensure our education system is strong and secure for the future. Now it's time to build on those successes. I'm asking you to join me in continuing to move our communities forward. I'm Max Buttrell, and I'm asking for your vote.
While Washington liberals like Obama and Pelosi continue to attack Alabama families and values, conservative leaders like Ed Henry are fighting back, championing pro-life legislation, standing strong against Obamacare, and keeping taxes low so we can create good jobs. Ed Henry, the conservative champion we need in Montgomery.
Now it's time for our community billboards, brought to you by Pepsi and Coleman Jefferson Gas. The Dodge City Lions Club will hold a Boston butt and rib sale on Friday and Saturday, May the 23rd and 24th, Memorial Day weekend. Sales begin at 8 on Friday and Saturday until they're sold out. Boston butts are $30 and ribs are $25. Location is besides the S&S Foods in Dodge City. Smith Lake Park Memorial Day Festival will take place on Saturday from 9 until 4 with live music, free admission, arts and crafts, all kinds of great things at Smith Lake Park this weekend. The VFW will host a Memorial Day program in Veterans Park at Sportsman's Lake on Saturday as well, starting at 10 a.m. There's the lineup for the programs. Go and attend. And the Garden City Church of God Food Bank will be open on Saturday, May the 24th from 8 until 11, serving surrounding area communities with a God-centered prayer and food ministry. The church is located just a half-mile south of Wallace State, just off Highway 31. And if you have a community billboard you want to share, you can email us at channel2coleman@gmail.com, phone 256-734-7399, or be a friend on Facebook, Channel 2 Coleman. And we want to wish Allie Burleson a happy birthday. Her name will be put into the drawing on Friday, where she has that possibility of winning an ice cream cake from Dairy Queen. And we want to wish a happy anniversary to Holly and Roman Robinson. And their name will be put into the drawing on Friday, where they have the possibility of winning a $15 gift certificate to the Candle Garden.
Weather forecast brought to you by Mitch Smith Chevrolet. Make the switch to Mitch. It'll be sunny and breezy today, a high of 82. Clear tonight, low of 63. More of the same tomorrow with a high of 85.
In the nation, we reward safe driving. Add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off every year of safe driving, which means you could save a lot of Benjamins. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
One of the most frequently asked questions I receive out on the campaign trail is, why do you want to be the sheriff of Coleman County? Coleman County is my home. It's where I was born and raised, and it's where my wife Susie and I will raise our two boys. And there's nothing more important to me than my Lord and Savior, my family, and my home. And I would like to ask for your vote on June 3rd in the 2014 Republican primary election.
Wallace State offers associate degree and certificate programs in Alabama's hottest job fields. Every year this decade, almost 3,800 new workers will enter these fields. Will you be one of them? Be one of us. Get in a Wallace state of mind. That's the projected number of job openings for trained welders this decade. That's the potential salary for welders trained the Wallace State way with the latest robotic technology for manufacturing. Who will you be? Be one of us. Get in a Wallace state of mind.
Four years ago, I stood here and told you about our struggling economy, job market, and education system. We needed a change. Today I have good news. The economy is coming back, the job market is getting stronger by the day, and we're taking steps to ensure our education system is strong and secure for the future. Now it's time to build on those successes. I'm asking you to join me in continuing to move our communities forward. I'm Max Buttram, and I'm asking for your vote.
While Washington liberals like Obama and Pelosi continue to attack Alabama families and values, conservative leaders like Ed Henry are fighting back, championing pro-life legislation, standing strong against Obamacare, and keeping taxes low so we can create good jobs. Ed Henry, the conservative champion we need in Montgomery.
Hello and welcome to the 2014 Candidate Forum for the Republican primary on June 3rd. Today we'll be speaking with candidates for the State Representative District 9. Those candidates are Melvin Hasting and Ed Henry. We'll start our questions first with Mr. Hastings, and we'll alternate beginnings. Mr. Hastings, what are your ideas that support job creation and economic growth? Specifically, are there taxes that should be lowered? Are there training programs that are needed? And have you identified any existing programs that need their effectiveness needs to be questioned?
I believe that you have to go out and talk to the business industry and see what they see that is necessary to help get jobs in Alabama. Now, something that's happened over the last few years is we are attracting a lot of automobile industries there. It requires technical training and mechanical skills. So I believe that we need to take a good look at how we're doing our vocational education in children. There are some children that are not academically, they're not just book smart kids. They're not going to excel in book smart type classes. I think if we identify them early and give them opportunities to learn some type of a trade, you know, all of these automobile industries, they have robotics, they have mechanical, different types of engineering, mechanical type stuff. So if we can get these children, it's not going to be your arithmetic, your English, and your history type children. Teach them the basics. They got to learn the basics. There's no doubt about that. But if we could identify who those mechanical people are and start looking at our vocational training and fix our vocational skills where we can train those people, I think it will bring more jobs, because when these automobile industries come in, it's not just Hyundai or Honda that comes in here with them, which brings hundreds or thousands of jobs. You also have all the motors, the molding for the cars. You have Utaka does the brake drums for the cars and everything else. So if you attract these big industries here, then all these other ones feed off of them, and it gives them opportunity. So if you have a good skilled workforce, a young good skilled workforce, I think that's going to help out. Lowering taxes, everybody wants to pay lower taxes, and you know, we hear it. 25 years, I don't think I'll pay any lower taxes. Then I don't think there's anything to be done to lower taxes. If there's something out there, absolutely 100% we need to lower taxes. I think the key is not raising them, and then let's spend our money wisely. The tax money that's bringing in, let's spend it wisely.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Henry, your thoughts on this?
Run that question again.
The question is about job creation and economic growth. We're asking about if there are taxes that can be lowered, are there training programs that you've identified that need to be expanded, or are there existing programs that maybe we need to look at their effectiveness and question whether or not they need to exist?
In the state of Alabama over the last 4 years, we have definitely lowered a lot of the taxes on small businesses. We've clarified and tried to remove a lot of the red tape that tends to block and aggravate, if you will, small businesses in the state of Alabama, and really just encourage them to open their doors. A lot of states have been harsh on the businesses, and that's why you see industries like Remington moving to Alabama, is because we are a business-friendly state where we try to maintain low taxation, and at the same time we are gun friendly, so definitely encourages Remington. As far as things that we can do to improve that atmosphere, one of them is workforce development. And last year we passed a piece of legislation that encouraged individuals to, or it actually provided $50 million to the career tech programs at the high school level and the junior college level, to encourage them to build out their facilities for things like welding, robotics, hydraulics, all of the machinists, those types of skills, because we do recognize that not everyone is going to go to a four-year institution or work toward their master's and work in some type of white-collar field. As a matter of fact, we have several jobs around the state. I was in South Alabama at a manufacturing event last summer and spoke to an outfit that was trying to find underwater welders, and I believe the starting pay for an underwater welder was just under $100,000 a year. This is someone that has a 2-year welding certificate and then has training for underwater welding as well. So the pay is there. We do have to begin to change the mindset of families. You have a lot of parents that believe that their kid's not going to succeed in life if they don't go to one of the 4-year universities, and that's just not true. So we have worked from the state level to encourage that. We have worked through AIDT, which is began in the 70s as a workforce development tool, so that when a company does come to Alabama and they say, we want to open a plant here, we can actually train their employees prior to them opening their facilities so that they can start being productive on day one. And we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to lower taxes, look for places to trim government so that we can live off of less, and which allows us to lower taxes.
Thank you. Now, our second question will start with you, Mr. Henry. What is your stance on the Accountability Act on charter schools and the Alabama system for teacher pay and tenure?
All right. It's a big question. So the Accountability Act is probably one of the most significant pieces of legislation we've passed in decades in Alabama, where prior to the Accountability Act, every school district basically in the state of Alabama had to behave the same. They had to spend their money exactly the same. It didn't matter if you were in Mountain Brook or Perry County. It didn't matter if you were in Huntsville City Schools or Coleman County City Schools. You had to operate your school system exactly the same. We would compartmentalize the money and we would send it down to the school, and if it was locked into transportation and you didn't spend as much on transportation as what we sent down, you had no mechanism to move that over into career tech or AP classes. So in the Accountability Act, we gave massive amounts of flexibility. A school system now can tailor their system to the local needs, which is what we want. We wanted to move it down to local control, and that's what we did through the Accountability Act. At the same time, so while we're providing all of this flexibility, we said there's got to be some accountability, because in Alabama politics, it's not popular to put accountability in. Nobody likes to be held accountable, and when you require accountability, they try to vote you out. So we were, over the last 4 years, doing everything we could to do the right way and not worry about getting reelected, just doing the right thing. And so through the Accountability Act, we said, if you're a low-performing school, if you're in the bottom tier, and we have places like Montgomery County where there's not a single junior high that is not failing their students. And when I say failing, I'm talking about a 30% graduation rate, where 30% of the kids that enter 9th grade actually graduate. And then of those that graduate that go to college, over 50 to 60% of those have to have remedial math or English when they go to college. These schools are not preparing their kids for the future, and so we had to find a way to keep them accountable. And one of those ways was to say, if you're on this bottom performing, then we're going to allow children in that school to be able to leave and go to a non-failing public school, or if there's no, like in Montgomery County's case, if your child wants to go to a private school, then we will give you a $4,500 tax credit. They'll spend their own money, but then they can submit that as a tax credit or as an expenditure, and they'll get $4,500 back from the state. Now, we also scholarshiped families that are under the poverty rate in Alabama, and so those kids, and there was about 70 of them that all brought, they were from households that made less than $25,000 a year, that were able to leave a failing public school in Montgomery County, Jefferson County, a couple in Greene County and Wilcox County, and go to a private school. And when you hear the testimony from those families, the mothers, the single mothers that would never be able to provide their kids a leg up, and you hear testimony from them about this is that one thing that they had been praying for and waiting for that was going to break that cycle of failure in their lives, that had persisted for generations, it kind of gives you a good feeling to know that you were a part of that. And that's what the Accountability Act did. It provided flexibility and it provided accountability. And those are the kind of things we need to be looking at for future endeavors, because we tried to get outside the box. Now, as far as tenure goes, tenure is in the state of Alabama right now, if a teacher works 3 years or an education employee works 3 years, then they're locked in, and they have a certain amount of due process that has to go through in order for them to be fired or let go. Prior to me coming into office, the mechanism was, if you let a teacher or an educator go, they have an appeals process, and that appeals process on average took up to 289 days. And throughout that appeals process, we paid them their full salary, plus we paid the full salary of their replacement, and we had to pay all the attorneys through the arbitration. On average, it was a little over $300,000 per firing is what it costs each system. And so we said, we've got to do this a little bit better. We're going to keep the due process, the tenure, the due process, but we're going to change that payment, and we're going to change it to 60 days. So instead of paying them for the whole thing, where we had people that were sitting in jail for felony child molestation, selling drugs, those kind of things, we had them in jail drawing a full salary because that was the law. That was what my predecessors put into place. And we said, we're going to pay you for 60 days. That'll get you through your first appeal. And then, after that, we're going to take that money and we're going to put it in a trust fund. And if you win your appeals, then we'll give you all of your money. But if you lose, all of that money goes back into the system. So here's the thing. The year before this law went into place, there were over 200 appeals for firings. After this went into place, after we changed just that little bit of the tenure law, there's only been 19 at the most. 19. So, and I would imagine those are 19 appeals that were very valid. And was there a third part to
the teacher pay?
Teacher pay. So, since 2000 to 2014, which we just finished the 2015 budget, but since 2000 to 2014, educators' pay, from bus drivers all the way up to superintendent, teachers' pay has been increased 28%. Now, that's something they don't really talk about, but they have received 28% raise, a 28% raise since 2000. They have also seen they've had an unseen raise in their insurance copays. So in 2000, the Education Trust Fund budget was $6 billion. This past year, it was $5.9 billion. In 2000, 10% of the Education Trust Fund budget went toward insurance and retirement. In today's budget, the one we just passed, it was over 30%. So the raises are there. They're just not seeing it in a check because we're having to pay increases to their insurance through Obamacare, the taxation that comes down, the fact that the retirement system in Alabama is not performing, it's failing, and it cost us just under $1 billion in revenue this year to have to put into the retirement system. If we could straighten all of those things out, then we would definitely be able to pay every educator, every teacher what they're worth. But the way the system is right now, the money's just not there.
Okay. Now we want to let Mr. Hastings answer the question. I'll go over the question again for you. What is your stance on the Accountability Act, charter schools, the Alabama system for teacher pay and tenure?
I don't listen to rhetoric. We hear a lot of rhetoric on TV and these commercials and the little advertisements we get and read. I read reports. I read on AL.com, I read the Alabama Reporter. I read any information I can get so we can make informed decisions. The Accountability Act, first of all, when you read stories about a law that is passed it's secret at night or it's slipped in, you have to be conscientious about it and careful about it. Why was that law not really debated? When you read, and maybe the people in District 9 support this, but when you read that $1.4 million is taken out of House District 9 and sent, it's going to essentially be sent to Birmingham and Montgomery for their failing schools, maybe House District 9 supports that. I don't know. How I feel about it really doesn't matter. I'm going to do what's best for House District 9. But the way I look at it, as far as taking money out of one system and putting it into another system, Birmingham, and I was just asked this the other day by a person about the Accountability Act and the money. Birmingham is bankrupt. One of the reasons Birmingham is bankrupt by making poor decisions. They have a sewer system that bankrupt them and put them in a mess. So I guess the question is this. Let's forget about the education part of it. Should Coleman County and House District 9 take money from our sewage system and our water system to send it down there and pay off Birmingham's sewage debt? I don't think people would like that. So the Accountability Act is something that we definitely have to look at. And let's see, what are we trying to accomplish, and is there something better that we can accomplish with it? Now then, as far as teacher pay, and I have a wife, she works in a business, she hasn't received a raise in 6 years. I have a mother that works in a business here locally that hasn't received a raise in 6 or 7 years. Yet, the prices of everything else keeps going up. Our pay raises are staying down here. So what we have to do is accept what our legislature is telling us is the truth when they say we just don't have the money to do it. All right? But then again you read, and I love to read more articles. And you read articles about the Speaker of the House appropriations. And the Speaker of the House appropriations, if these articles are correct, the Speaker of the House was allotted, when Seth Hammond was there, $750,000 a year, an average. All right? If I'm not mistaken, what I read is that the Speaker of the House budget was allotted $2.2 million last year. So if all that information is correct, I guess you have to question, is the legislature telling us the truth when they say they don't have money, and are they spending their money wisely? If there is money available to take and give teachers raises, then yes, I think you should. Just like if there's money available when my mother works to give her a raise, yes, she should get a raise. When my wife works at, she should get a raise because everything else is going up except for our pay. Now then, as far as the tenure laws, I'm not as familiar about them. I have heard some about it, and if what Representative Henry is telling us is true, I think it's probably a good thing what they did. As long as the main deal with the tenure laws is giving everyone a due process hearing, which means gives you an opportunity to hear your side of the story. And that's the key. And if they kept that in the tenure laws, then that is a good thing. Of course, I've read the stories about there's a teacher, Miss Henry might remember this one. Was it down in Mobile, somewhere like that? It was, he was in prison for messing a child, and he received a year's pay. That is not right. And if they fixed that problem, then they did a good job. They should have done it.
We'll go to our third question. This question will start with you, Mr. Hastings.
Yes, sir.
Do you support or oppose the Affordable Care Act, Medicaid expansion, and then why or why not?
I oppose it. I'll tell you why I oppose it. The Constitution of the United States, in it we have a Bill of Rights, which says that as a free people, which we are in the United States, that we can make decisions. We have privacy rights, and we can make decisions about ourselves, the pursuit of happiness, life, wealth, whatever we want to. We can make those decisions. Your Constitution is a limiting document which limits the ability of the government to make those decisions for you. So if our government is saying you have to do this, you have to do that with our health care, they are overstepping the bounds. And here's some big problems with the Medicaid expansion, because there's always two sides of the story when you read it, and believe me, I've read the stories. Medicaid expansion, the Obamacare, and everybody says, hey, we're going to put more money into the state of Alabama. The federal government's going to take the bill for a certain period of time. The states, you got the bill at that point. So, and they say it's going to bring thousands of jobs to Alabama. Maybe it will. I don't know. All you're going to do is put more people on the government's paycheck so that they can get health care. Now, there are some people, absolutely no doubt, that needs it. And those people that needs it, I have no problem with them getting it. But when you start attaching government regulations and stuff to getting money, you have to be careful, especially with the with our federal government, where they're just overstepping everything that they're doing. Another thing that's serious that people probably don't realize, and Mr. Henry probably has the numbers, we have a tobacco settlement money, 25 years of tobacco settlement money. We've had probably 14 years of that money. It's paid in, I don't know, it's $100 million, I imagine, a year we're getting from that. That is not a lifetime amount of money. They don't go on for the rest of Alabama's life. It stops in 25 years, that tobacco settlement. So I would imagine in 10 or 11 years, we're fixing to run short $100 million. So anytime you've got programs, Obamacare and Medicaid expansion, and they're saying, hey, we're going to foot the bill, then Alabama, you take on the bill, we've got a big problem dealing with that we got to start taking care of right now with the $100 million shortfall, wherever that money is getting paid into. So we have to take consideration that, how are we going to fix that? And then you start adding more programs the federal government says you have to do. Alabama can't do it. There's no way. Not without raising taxes and putting everybody bankrupt.
Okay. Mr. Henry, the question is, do you support or oppose the Affordable Care Act's Medicaid expansion?
They say, first thing, I opposed Obamacare from the get-go, the Affordable Health Care Act, and have done everything in my power through the state to put roadblocks in the way of it. We had a constitutional amendment in 2012 that would have actually given us grounds for the Attorney General to sue the federal government again over being able to fine Alabamians if they didn't buy health insurance. And then, of course, Justice Roberts gave his eloquent decision that it was not a fine, but it was a tax, and essentially set our constitutional amendment as null and void. So inside Medicaid expansion, what we're talking about doing is moving the eligible recipients for Medicaid in the state of Alabama from about 900,000 right now to 1.2 million. And if you move that bar, you're essentially saying 1 in 4 Alabamians will be on Medicaid. The federal government's saying that 300,000 that you're going to add, we're going to pay all of it for the first 2 years, and then we're going to pay 90% of it for some time after that. They are not specific on how long they're going to pay that or how much they will pay over time. And so what we'll end up with is we'll get caught holding the bag eventually. Now, financially, we're in a bind because you'll have a lot of the pros wanting to expand Medicaid saying, we can expand Medicaid because it's going to bring in a lot of extra money into the state, which will generate revenue that will help fund on the backside. But when you look at the dynamics of it, in the state of Alabama, we have 2 different budgets. We have an education trust fund budget, and we have a general fund budget. The general fund budget is 1/3 of the overall expenditure. So 2 out of every $3 goes to education, 1 out of every $3 goes to everything else. That's public safety, that's mental health. Medicaid is a portion of that. Corrections. All of the money that would be generated by the Medicaid expansion, 90% of it, I won't say all, 90% of it goes not to the general fund to self-fund Medicaid, but then goes to the education budget, which would help our schools, but it's going to leave another massive deficit in this Medicaid program. And then, so I'm definitely against this, but I want to paint another picture for you just to show you how convoluted the whole process is, because a lot of the times in politics you'll see politicians get stuck on rhetoric where they just say the same thing over and over. Oh, it's bad, it's evil, all these things. The other side to Medicaid expansion is from the healthcare world, because I don't have to read about this, I live this. I see it every day, and for the last 20 years I've worked in healthcare and I've provided care to patients. and I've seen the transition over the years. And what has happened is the federal government mandates that a hospital maintain a certain level and that they provide care to anybody that shows up to their door. They can't turn them away. It doesn't matter if they have insurance, they have Medicaid, if they're indigent. They have to provide care. So the federal government is saying to the hospital, you have to provide care for all these patients. And then on the backside, the state is telling the hospital, we're not going to pay you for them. So you're seeing your hospital systems getting squeezed and squeezed and squeezed from both sides. And what we have to do from a state level, in my opinion, is provide a better tort reform. We need to provide protection to those medical providers so that when they do deny care because somebody comes in complaining of a headache for the third time in this month looking for Loratabs, and that ER doctor says, you're just here seeking drugs, get out, we need to cut down his risk or her risk of being sued. The problem is, in Montgomery, you have all of those types of legislation have to go through the Judicial Committee, which is made up of attorneys that are in the legislature, and they are never willing to allow you to put restraints on those lawsuits. And if we don't do some type of mechanism like that, we're going to continue to squeeze on our providers, our healthcare providers, to the point where they can't stay in business. And so it's a long story just to say I'm opposed to the Medicaid expansion.
Yeah, thank you. We have a fourth question, and this question will start back with you, Mr. Henry. How will you respond to overcrowding and allegations of abuse in Alabama's prisons?
This is a major problem that doesn't get a lot of press. So again, corrections comes out of that general fund budget, and it's about 30 to 40% of the entire budget. Medicaid is another 30+%. Those two entities together consume most of the general fund budget. The general fund budget is funded off of property taxes. It's very stagnant. It doesn't go up or down, and it hasn't moved in a long time. But as our economy falls, our crime rate goes up. We have prisons that are 180% overcrowded, so we almost have 2 to 1 ratio over what we should have. And when I'm talking to corrections officers around the state, they say we are just a fraction away from having a major incident. That they have to move prisoners around the state constantly just to keep gangs from basically taking over the prison system. And then you have the federal government breathing down our neck saying, you have to expand your prisons. The problem is a new prison, I can't remember the exact number, but it's going to run us somewhere in the $1 billion range to build a new prison. And from the time I came in, the general fund budget was down on a $2 billion. That's $2 billion is all we get to spend, and it's been down almost $300 million ever since I came into office. So we have a major hole. Medicaid cost keeps going up. Just the day-to-day operational cost for corrections is going up, and we have no capital to build a new prison. So one of the ways that has been floated in Montgomery and squashed by certain entities is directing some taxes, some revenue from the education budget over to the general fund to help offset and help do some capital expenditures and corrections. If we were going to go that route, I would only want to see the portion that goes toward higher education, the four-year universities. I do believe they get enough of the pie. K through 12, we struggle with getting money to the classroom anyway. And so you definitely wouldn't want to see any deficiency there. Higher ed has the ability to make it up through sports programs, through raising tuition if they needed to. But corrections is a looming problem. It's hanging on a cliff out there, and as far as I can tell, the governor nor anybody has the answer.
Okay. Mr. Hastings, how would you respond to the overcrowding and allegations of abuse in Alabama's prisons?
All right. Of course, that's that's what I do every day. I'll give y'all a little history about a little lesson about crime and criminal law. Criminal law is designed to protect you from me. It's not designed to protect me from me. All right? So a lot of times that is the arguments behind seatbelt laws or helmets laws or whatever else. When you're dictating a person, you got to do this, and the only purpose of it is to protect that person. Now then, let me give you a good example of what we need to do as far as overcrowding. Because we always hear that, hey, our prisons are full of people that's on drugs, drug dealers, or whatever else, and essentially that is a true statement. In Alabama, if you get busted with a marijuana, it don't matter if it's a seed or cigarette, a joint, the first time for personal use it is a misdemeanor. All right? If you get busted for it again, it is a felony. All right? You can get busted for marijuana once, it's a misdemeanor. You can get busted for marijuana a second time, it is a felony. What is the difference? The difference, the first time, your incarceration or your jail time is up to a year. The second time, it's a year and a day up to 10 years. So we have people in prison that has got busted twice for marijuana possession. That gets a 8, 7, 8, 9, 10 year sentence, and they're in prison 2 or 3 years. And the prisons are full of those type of people. All right? Now then, let's take a step further. Maybe this person got out and they got busted with a Lortab, and they don't have a prescription for that Lortab pill. It is a felony. And now, instead of a 1 to 10 year sentence, the sentencing range is between 2 and 20 years. So we probably now, that same person that has done nothing to hurt anybody else or commit a crime against anybody else, that has smoked a couple joints and got caught, or had joints in their possession and had a Lortab, they may have a 15-year sentence. So we have a person in prison for 4, 5, 6 years that has done nothing to hurt no one, and it just committed and is just not doing what we told them you can't do. You can't have a Lortab unless you have a prescription, and you can't have marijuana. All right. So I think we have to sit back and determine: are we doing? And it's not just an Alabama problem. This is a countrywide problem. Do we sit back and punish people for what they're doing to themselves? And then, now then, let me give you this. I talked about the marijuana possession. Now then, I can be a little burglar and break in your house and steal something out of your, let me say, break into your shed and steal something out of your shed because it's not a residence. And it's the same type of felony as that guy that got busted with having marijuana cigarettes twice. Get the same sentence. So we can fix overcrowding by looking at what we do. And you're going to have to look at the Habitual Felony Offender Act. I deal with it every day. And a bunch of those habitual felony offenders that we're sending to prison for 8, 10, 12, 15 years are nothing but people that are taking Lortabs that don't have a prescription, or people that smoking marijuana doesn't have a prescription, whatever else. And if that's what we want to do as a society, then I guess that's what we can do. I don't think it's the smartest thing. I think there are better ways to do it. So if we do that, we can probably fix the overcrowding problems in there. And Mr. Henry's right. The federal government is breathing down our neck. And I don't have the numbers. He does. If you're almost 200% overcrowded, that is you can't allow it. That is not the American way. We got to fix it. And if we don't fix it, the feds are going to come in and fix it. And guess what? It's going to cost us a lot more money. So it is a serious issue. So I think if we come back and look at what are we doing to people, everybody says we're going to serve justice. We want justice served. And if we're serving justice and we're being tough on crime by putting a guy in prison for 12 years because he wants to do something to himself, I don't know that that's right. And I don't know that it's a smart thing to do, especially when we don't have the money to do it.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to take a commercial break, but want to remind you that today's forum is available for viewing on channel2coleman.com and on YouTube. Stay with us. We'll be back.
As a local auto owners independent agency, we are dedicated to assisting you in your time of need. We live and work right in your community, and we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Fortunately, emergencies don't happen every day, but when they do, we're here to personally see you through. For life, home, car, and business insurance, call us, your local independent auto owners agent today.
Overwhelmed by home refinancing offers from telephone solicitors and direct mail advertising, and then find you're not qualified for a specific plan? The Mortgage Center, a hometown lender, compares the rates from all home loan lenders and the qualifications of the various government programs to find a plan best suited to you. The Mortgage Center helps Coleman County people purchase and refinance their homes.
This is Pat Newton. Call us today and let us tailor a loan program to your specific needs and requirements.
Pro Audio and Video is your church sound, video, computer, and lighting system experts. We've been installing and servicing these systems for almost 30 years. We've worked with small churches, large churches, and all those in between. We handle all major brands like Mackie, Crown, JBL, PV's Architectural Acoustics, EAW, Shure, DBX, Behringer, and Audio Technica, just to name a few. We have a full service repair shop and free evaluation and estimates. So give us a call today and we'll get the job done.
Wells Turner Family Pharmacy is a proud supporter of local city and county athletics. You can keep your money right here in Coleman because Wells Turner Family Pharmacy is locally owned and operated. At Wells Turner, you won't have to wait long to get your prescriptions filled, but while you're here, you can send a package by UPS, buy a gift from the gift shop, pay your phone bill, or develop your photos using our DKS photo kiosk. Wells Turner Family Pharmacy. We are a Health Mart community pharmacy.
Welcome back to the 2014 Candidate Forum for the Republican primary on June 3rd. Again, today we're speaking with candidates for the State Representative District 9. And on this segment, we will have our candidates ask questions of each other. So we'll begin with Mr. Hastings. What question would you have for Mr. Henry?
Yes, sir. Mr. Henry, a lot of the ads, and I see some of yours talk about the Washington liberals, and, you know, everybody picks on Obama. Probably should pick on Obama. We don't, of course, not many people supporting him down here, but they talk about what Washington and the liberals are doing to Alabama, and then I think some of your ads say that there's legislative actions that you've taken to fight them. Can you give us some examples of legislative actions that you've done?
Absolutely. One of the first pieces of legislation I passed was to prevent, there was a mechanism inside the Affordable Health Care Act that allowed taxpayer dollars to be used to fund abortions in each state. And so one of my first pieces of legislation that I drafted myself and passed and the governor signed was to prevent taxpayer dollars in the state of Alabama from being used to abort children. That was one of the first. 2 years ago, I drafted a piece of legislation called the Second Amendment Preservation Act that said any laws, rules, or regulations that the federal government passes that are deemed by the governor and or the state legislature will become null and void in the state of Alabama. And our law enforcement officers in the state will not enforce those laws, rules, or regulations that are in conflict with the Second Amendment. And then last year, we were successful in passing the piece of gun legislation that was in the press called the omnibus gun bill that Senator Beeson and I carried that again reaffirmed your ability to keep and carry a firearm in accordance with the Second Amendment. We have passed countless resolutions opposing the Affordable Health Care Act, and right off the top of my head, those are a few of the things we have done.
The most significant ones that people care about.
Right.
In the state of Alabama. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. And now, Mr. Henry, would you have a question that you'd like to ask Mr. Hastings?
I do. Going back to political ads, this has probably been one of the most negative campaigns that I've seen in our area, in Coleman County and Morgan County, and the onslaught, the lies and the misleading information that's been put out against me. And I have a two-part question here, two answers, I guess. Are you behind those attacks? And if not, do you have control of your own campaign?
The answer is no. I have received a couple of the mail-outs. I know my mother seems to get all of them. I think she got 4 of them in one day. And when I look at it, no, it's not mine. I haven't designed any of those ads. I haven't been asked any questions about those ads or any of the. Now, I assume you're talking about ads. You're talking about the mail-outs. I haven't seen anything on TV. The mail-outs, you know who they're from. It says A vote on there. You know who they're from.
Who is that?
Huh? The American Voice of Teachers and Educators, or the Alabama Voice of Teachers and Educators PAC.
Who is that, though?
The Alabama Voice of Teachers and Educators PAC.
Who do they represent?
I guess they represent they said the Alabama Voice of Teachers and Educators.
Right, but what is that?
But regardless,
can you
they are
what that is?
Yes, sir, I can. But they regardless, they are printed by them. I have absolutely no input on them. I do read them and see what information's on them. Do I have any control over my campaign? I have 100% control over my campaign. I have received, well, I did receive a contract.
You have 100% control of your campaign?
Over my campaign.
So you're saying these attacks from this A vote, which is, I believe, the AEA, right?
It is the PAC that is funded by the AEA, yes, sir.
Which has endorsed you, given you money, and is helping with your campaign, right?
They have endorsed me, yes. Have they given me money? No. And are they helping my campaign?
In kind.
They are. I receive notices of in-kind contributions for advertising, and I report them.
Right.
That's what it says. In-kind notice, X amount of money for campaigns advertising.
I think it would be disingenuous to say you have 100% control over your campaign because you are benefiting from attacks that you've admitted, and I believe you, that you have nothing to do with. I believe you in that.
I have 100% control of my campaign. I am my committee finance person. I am my campaign manager. I am my campaign scheduler. I am everything about my campaign I do. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. You know, I know, and a few people that keeps up with the political realm knows that the AEA or the teachers union and Ed Henry don't jive. There's an issue there. Now then, do I benefit from it? Apparently, I have benefited from it because I have a lot of support from teachers and educators and superintendents and administrators. I have a lot of people supporting me for various reasons. I guess one reason they like me. Second reason, they know that I've been where they've been at because I was an instructor at Wallace. I have taught classes before. And third of all, it's obvious, and you know what, Mr. Henry, and I mean, it's personal between you and them. They don't like some of the legislation you do. So I guess I benefit from it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. And it reminds me of those saying about the fellow that was asked about supporting a candidate that says, I'll be for you or against you, whatever will help. We want to go to another commercial break, and we'll come back for closing comments from the two candidates after this.
Baker Pro Audio and Video has the video security systems to cover all of your home and business concerns. Wired, wireless, indoor or out, we've got you covered. Standard and high-def cameras, day and night vision, and remote pan-tilt zoom cameras are also available. Whether you need a small 4-camera system or a larger 30-camera system, we've got the one you need. Remote viewing from your home computer, smartphone, and iPad is also available. Whether home or business, call Baker Pro Audio and Video today for your free quote. 256-739-0388.
Wells Turner Family Pharmacy is a proud supporter of local city and county athletics. You can keep your money right here in Coleman because Wells Turner Family Pharmacy is locally owned and operated. At Wells Turner, you won't have to wait long to get your prescriptions filled, but while you're here, you can send a package by UPS, buy a gift in the gift shop, pay your phone bill, or develop your photos using our DKS photo kiosk. Wells Turner Family Pharmacy. We are a Health Mart community pharmacy.
Overwhelmed by home refinancing offers from telephone solicitors and direct mail advertising, and then find you're not qualified for a specific plan? The Mortgage Center, a hometown lender, compares the rates from all home loan lenders and the qualifications of the various government programs to find a plan best suited to you. The Mortgage Center helps Coleman County people purchase and refinance their homes.
This is Pat Newton. Call us today and let us tailor a loan program to your specific needs and requirements.
As a local auto owners independent agency, we are dedicated to assisting you in your time of need. We live and work right in your community, and we're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Fortunately, emergencies don't happen every day, but when they do, we're here to personally see you through. For life, home, car, and business insurance, call us, your local independent auto owners agent today.
Welcome back once again to the 2014 Candidate Forum for the Republican primary on June 3rd. And today, of course, we're speaking with candidates for the State Representative District 9, and we will have closing remarks from the candidates. And we'll begin with Mr. Henry.
I just want to thank you guys for doing this. It's such a great public service because there's so many people out there that we just don't have the ability to get in front of, and I'm very thankful to that. I want to say on June 3rd, there's a primary election, and I've been in Montgomery for 4 years. I had never been in politics before, and in that 4 years, we have made a huge difference in the way this state operates. We have stopped the way money moves around Montgomery. We have consolidated government. We have been able to do more with less, and a lot of the provisions that we put in place could be undone in an instance by somebody, a legislature that goes in that's weak-kneed, unwilling to stand their ground and stand firm on the issues. And on June 3rd, I would appreciate your vote. I'd like to go back to Montgomery at least one more time and see if we can't maintain all of these changes that we've made and even progress further into a fiscally sound state. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hastings?
Yes. Thank you again, Mr. Hicks, for the questions. Very thought-provoking, there's no doubt, and y'all got a lot of information from us. Appreciate Mr. Henry and his participation and his questions. I want you to know I'm going to do what's best for House District 9 first and what's best for the state of Alabama. I don't have an agenda to prove in Montgomery. I'm not for a group of people or against a group of people. I just want to do what is best for this state. And I think for us to have an honest, open government, which I believe everybody wants, we have to make sure that the legislation that we're passing is responsible, that we know what we're passing, why we're passing it, who it benefits, and who it hurts. So as your representative, when legislation is introduced in Alabama, I'm going to ask those questions. And I'm going to have some answers and feel satisfied with those answers, and as much as I can, I am going to let you know and have an influence on that legislation, because as Mr. Henry knows, the process is fast. Things move fast in Montgomery, and we have 30 days within a 105-day period to get things done. So I just want you to know that I'm not down to Montgomery to benefit me, to benefit any of my buddies or any of my cronies or whatever else. I'm here to benefit the House District 9, the people of House District 9. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, today we have been speaking with candidates for the State Representative District 9, and that election will be on June 3rd, so begin now to make your plans to go and vote on June 3rd. I want to remind you also that today's forum can be seen on channel2coleman.com and on YouTube. We also invite you to watch our next candidate forum, which will be on Friday. At that time, we'll be speaking with candidates for State Senate. So have a good day, and God bless you.